On June 7, 1494, in a quiet Spanish town, two men drew a line that carved up a continent. The Treaty of Tordesillas, a forgotten pact, split the New World between Spain and Portugal, reshaping South America forever. But what if I told you this map wasn't just a deal between kings? Hidden within its lines are stories of betrayal, ambition, and voices erased from history. Who paid the price for this audacious divide? And why does it still matter today? This is On This Day in History, and today we're uncovering the secrets of the map that redrew a continent. Stick with us for the next 50 minutes to discover a story that's been buried for centuries, and trust me, the climax will leave you speechless. Hit subscribe and ring the bell to join the journey. To understand the Treaty of Tordesillas, we need to rewind to 1492, when Christopher Columbus stumbled upon the Americas believing he'd reached Asia. His discovery ignited a firestorm in Europe. Spain and Portugal, the era's naval superpowers, were locked in a race to claim these new lands. But there was a problem: who owned what? The world was a blank canvas, and both nations wanted to paint it their colors. Enter Pope Alexander VI, who in 1493 issued a bold decree, a line of demarcation 100 leagues west of the Azores, splitting the globe. Spain got everything west, Portugal everything east. It was a divine mandate, or so they claimed. But Portugal cried foul, arguing the line favored Spain. The stage was set for a historic showdown. On June 7, 1494, in Tordesillas, negotiators hammered out a new deal. They moved the line 270 leagues west, creating the Treaty of Tordesillas. This single adjustment gave Portugal a foothold in what would become Brazil, a decision that reshaped South America's destiny. But the real story isn't in the ink, it's in the shadows. Imagine a world where your home, your culture, your future is divided by a line drawn thousands of miles away. For the millions of indigenous peoples in South America, like the Tupi, Guarani, and Arawak, the Treaty of Tordesillas was the silent earthquake. They had no seat at the table, yet their lands were carved up without their knowledge. Recent archaeological findings, like those from 2023 excavations in Brazil's Maranhão region, reveal thriving indigenous societies before European contact. Pottery, tools, and burial sites show complex trade networks and spiritual traditions. Yet, the treaty's map ignored these realities, treating the continent as a blank slate. This erasure set the stage for centuries of displacement. The Cantinho Planisphere, a 1502 Portuguese map, is one of the earliest to depict the Tordesillas line. Preserved in Modena, Italy, it's a stunning artifact of ambition, with vibrant colors and intricate details. But it's also a primary source of exclusion, omitting indigenous territories entirely. This wasn't just a map, it was a weapon of conquest. The Treaty of Tordesillas didn't just draw a line, it unleashed a tidal wave. Portugal's claim to Brazil birthed a colony that blended European, African, and indigenous cultures. Spain's vast empire from Peru to Mexico reshaped global trade with silver and gold. But every coin had a darker side. A 2021 study from the University of São Paulo estimates that 4.8 million enslaved Africans were brought to Brazil alone, largely due to Portugal's Tordesillas-granted territory. The treaty's line didn't just divide land, it fueled the transatlantic slave trade, chaining millions to a brutal new world. Yet, resistance thrived. Indigenous groups like the Guarani fought back, launching uprisings well into the 17th century. Their defiance, documented in Jesuit records, shows a resilience that the treaty's architects never anticipated. This wasn't a blank map, it was a battleground. For centuries, historians portrayed Tordesillas as a triumph of diplomacy. But revisionist scholars, like those at the 2024 Latin American Studies Conference, argue it was a pact of exploitation. By digitizing antique maps, researchers have uncovered how the treaty distorted geographic realities to favor European power. Think of the treaty as a game of cosmic chess. The board was the new world, but the players, Spain and Portugal, were guessing the squares. They relied on crude tools like astrolabes and compasses. Yet their map reshaped borders we still see today. Brazil's eastern bulge, that's Tordesillas at work, Ilhas at Today, the treaty's legacy lingers in South America's cultural mosaic. Portuguese-speaking Brazil sits alongside Spanish-speaking neighbors, a direct result of that 1494 line. But it also raises questions. How do arbitrary borders shape identity? Comment below with your thoughts. Does history still draw lines in your world? The true story of Tordesillas isn't in the lines drawn by kings, it's in the voices it silenced. In 2023, archaeologists in Paraguay unearthed a Guarani oral history recorded by Jesuits, describing the treaty's arrival as the day the sky was divided. For those who called this continent home, the map wasn't a discovery, it was a theft. These voices, once buried, are rising again. From the Guarani's fight to the Afro-Brazilian rhythms that echo in Carnival, the treaty's scars are woven into a vibrant tapestry of survival. This is the climax of our story. Not a line on a map, but a continent that refused to be erased. What if the map had been drawn differently? Would South America's story be the same? Drop your what if in the comments and let's spark a debate. History isn't just the past, it's a mirror for today. The Treaty of Tordesillas was more than a map. It was a pact that redrew a continent and reshaped our world. And on this day in history, we dig into the forgotten stories that define who we are from 1494 to 2025. The lesson: lines on a map can divide, but human resilience unites. Vote in the poll below for the treaty that changed history the most, and share this video to keep the conversation going. Want more? Subscribe, like, and join us next time as we uncover the lost city that rewrote ancient history. History isn't just lines on a page, it's the heartbeat of humanity. This is On This Day in History, signing off. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and we'll see you tomorrow.